Let me take you into my life for a moment. Not my life on land, but my life on a floating city where every hallway feels identical. Every day blends into the next, and privacy is something you learn to live without. Life on a cruise ship sounds glamorous to people who've never lived on one. They imagine sunsets, fancy buffets, relaxing at sea, and dancing on deck at night. And sure, all that exists, but so does the other side. The small cabins, the constant noise, the random ship movements, the late-night rehearsals, and, of course, sharing a tiny room with another human being whether you like it or not. Now, in my case, I'm lucky performers get to pick their roommates. So I picked someone I liked. Someone who seemed easygoing, friendly, clean, respectful. We got along great during rehearsals and on land, so I thought, perfect, we'll share a cabin and it'll be totally chill. I was wrong on a level I didn't even know was possible. The first night on the ship, I remember climbing into my top bunk. Mine is the top because I thought I'd prefer the extra privacy, and honestly, I did, at first. The ship was rocking gently, the lights were dim, and I was actually feeling grateful. New contract, new ship, fun job, nice roommate. It felt like the start of something good. Then, about 30 minutes after she fell asleep, I heard it. A sound so violent, so deep, so chaotic, that I genuinely thought she was actively choking to death. It was this horrible mixture of growling, gasping, snorting, and then these random choking noises that made me think, oh my God, she is literally dying. I froze for a second, listening, trying to figure out if I should climb down and shake her awake. But then, after one of these terrifying, choking gasps, she just continued snoring peacefully. That's when I realized this wasn't a medical emergency. This was her normal. I lay there, wide awake, staring at the ceiling, thinking, what did I just sign up for? I thought maybe it was just the first night. Maybe she was tired. Maybe it wouldn't happen again. But then night 2 came. Night 3. Night 4. And every single night was its own disaster movie soundtrack. I tried everything. I tried earplugs, they didn't even make a dent. I tried big over-the-ear headphones and blasted music as loud as I could without going deaf. Still heard her. The girl could out-snore an airplane engine. And here's the best part. Our cabin is near the anchor. So every time the ship docks in the morning, the anchor drops, and it's loud, like shake the whole room, loud. Yet somehow her snoring was still louder than that. I don't know what kind of superpower that is, but it should be studied by scientists. At one point, I remember lying in my bunk at 3 a.m., exhausted, listening to her snore while the ship was shaking from docking, and thinking, how is it that the anchor sounds like background noise compared to this woman? It was actually impressive in the worst possible way. After a few nights of this torture, I decided to talk to her. I wasn't rude. I wasn't aggressive. I approached her politely one afternoon and said something like, hey, so, your snoring is really loud. I'm having trouble sleeping. Maybe we could look into ways to help. She looked at me, shrugged, and said, well, I sleep fine. He blinked. He blinked again. I thought maybe she misunderstood me. So I explained again, but she repeated the same thing, that she was sleeping fine, so she didn't think it was a big deal. That was the moment I realized she had absolutely no intention of fixing anything. And the worst part? Changing roommates on a cruise ship is nearly impossible. Unless something major happens like fighting, harassment, or something serious, they don't move you. Snoring isn't considered serious. No matter how bad it is. No matter that I was sleeping 2 hours a night and had to perform the next day. I tried to tolerate it. I really did. But then one particular day pushed me over the edge. I had a long, exhausting schedule. I woke up at 9 a.m., was working, rehearsing, performing, running around the ship all day until finally finishing at 11 p.m. I was beyond tired. I was dead. I crawled into bed thinking, please God, just let me sleep. And guess what? The snoring started. Not soft, not slow, full volume, full chaos, full nightmare. I slept for maybe 2 hours before I had to get up at 6 a.m. for early duties. I woke up that morning feeling like a zombie with a caffeine addiction. That was the moment something inside me snapped, not in a violent way, not in a dramatic way, but in a deeply petty, deeply exhausted way that only lack of sleep can create. So I made a decision. If she wasn't willing to acknowledge her snoring, then she was going to hear what I heard every night. The next day, I recorded her. I didn't plan to use it maliciously, I just wanted her to understand what I was going through. I wanted to say, "This is what keeps me awake." I honestly hoped that once she heard herself, she'd say, "Oh wow, okay, maybe we should fix this." Spoiler. She didn't. So later that day, she says she wants to take a nap. She lies down in her bunk, closes her eyes, and I take out my phone and hit play on the recording. The moment the sound starts, the deep, aggressive snoring echoing through the room, she bolts upright like she'd been shot from a cannon. Her eyes were huge. She looked at me like I was a serial killer. And she goes, "What are you doing? Turn that off." I just looked at her calmly and said, "Why? This is you. You said it's not a big deal. If it's not a big deal, why should I turn it off?" She didn't like that answer. For the next 3 days, any time she tried to nap, I played her own snoring back to her. Not loudly, not blasting, just loud enough for her to hear what I hear. She got angrier every day, but I wasn't stopping. I was sleep-deprived and dedicated. Eventually, she complained to management. Of course, she didn't tell the full story. She made it seem like I was blasting random horrible noises to torture her for no reason. But when I got called into the meeting and explained everything, how I couldn't sleep, how she refused to try any solutions, how difficult it had been to work all day and get no rest, the manager actually understood. He didn't fully take her side. In fact, he told her she wasn't being cooperative at all. She was furious. Absolutely fuming. But the result? They moved us. We got new roommates and new cabins. The moment I walked into my new room and realized I would finally sleep again, I swear I felt like a different human being. I slept that night like someone who had just come back from war. Deep, peaceful, silent, beautiful. And honestly, the whole experience taught me one thing. If someone snores like a wild animal and refuses to do anything about it, don't underestimate a sleep-deprived person. We will find creative ways to make you understand. And sometimes, the only way to make someone hear you is to literally make them hear themselves.